Welcome to Movie Time starring Christopher Thompson. This is Christopher Thompson. I am doing a review of The Dark Tower based on a series by Stephen King, but not that much. Already going to tell you this movie was disappointing. It stars Idris Elba as Roland, aka the Gunslinger. Matthew McConaughey as Walter, aka the Man in Black, and Tom Taylor as Jake Chambers. Okay, and it also has a small part Jackie Earle Haley that you may remember as Rorschach from The Watchmen, or if you've seen the reboot of Nightmare on Elm Street, he was the new Freddy Krueger. And I love this guy. He's a great character actor, but he played a really small part. Okay, so this is based on a series by Stephen King. I was disappointed. I wasn't as disappointed as I would have been because I knew I'd be disappointed going in this. I was disappointed the first time I saw the preview. This is not an adaptation of the first book, The Gunslinger. This is actually not even the beginning of the story. If anything, this seems like the end of the story. I've only read the first book, which is The Gunslinger, so I don't know. It's first of all, Jake Chambers died in the first book. He was a really small part. It didn't mention anything of being from our actual Earth that we live in. That was something that was totally added. And then the story seems like it's the end of the story. It's like they took a character from the first book and put it all the way at the end. And it makes it seem like, unless you've read the whole series, which I haven't, you won't know what the hell's going on. Of course, I've heard that people who have read the series still didn't like it and didn't think it was accurate. Okay, so the story's nowhere near as good as the first book. I haven't read the other books, like I'm saying. But from the get-go, the main character is Jake Chambers. In The Gunslinger, the first novel of the Dark Tower series, he's a very small character, plays a part, doesn't tell us where he's from, and he very quickly dies. In this, they make him a main character, and it jumps right into all these different worlds and stuff, which as far as I know, they don't really even get into until after the first book, till later on in the series. The only thing the first book does tell you about the Dark Tower is that it stands in between all these different worlds, all these different realms, and it's something important. Okay, with the groundwork being said that this is not a faithful adaptation of the series, it's not the beginning, you can see why I'm disappointed, and then I think people who don't know anything about it were still disappointed that it wasn't that good, and it was very, very short. I'm actually hoping to find out what Stephen King thinks about the movie, because I know he hated the original Shining, and I'm thinking he's not going to like this one very much. It probably would have been... It would have been better if he was either in the director's chair or at least had a bigger part to play in this movie. Okay, so in this basic story, we meet Jake Chambers, who's now the main character for some reason, and everybody else, including Roland, who's the main character of the series, takes backstage to it. So that's already ruining the movie. Okay, and when I first heard they were going to do The Dark Tower, I thought they were going to do an adaptation of The Gunslinger. I thought they were going to be accurate to the book. And then I knew the first time I saw the previews, I'm like, what the hell is this? And I do know now that, because I didn't remember anyone being from New York. Later on in the series, we do meet characters that come from these different worlds, including people from Earth. And there is a person that's from New York, but it's not Jake Chambers. It's a grown man who is a heroin addict, and I don't know that much about it, okay? So, okay, here we got this guy who was a small character in one of the books. That's the main character of the Dark Tower movie now. Okay, and it does I can't say I didn't enjoy it at all. I did enjoy it a little bit, but it really sucked as an adaptation of the Dark Tower. Like I said, especially it wasn't the first book, it was more like the end of the story. and I'm sure it left a lot of people saying, "What the hell is this?" Okay, so the interesting thing is that he's drawing all these pictures. So, and he has these dreams, vivid dreams, and everyone thinks he's crazy, including his parents. Well, his mom and his stepfather, and they think a lot of it stems from trauma because his dad was a firefighter and he died. So go to this, we keep seeing his dreams, and he has a dream of kids being strapped to chairs in this other world, the world where Roland lives and everything, and the man in black, what is the name, Walter, has a kid in the chair, and a beam comes from their head or whatever, and it blows up the tower or whatever. So it gets to the point, and then he agrees that he'll go for the weekend, and just be over the weekend, go to this psychiatric place, and it's supposed to be really good. Well, when he goes to go, the people who come, like in the dreams, he's had dreams of these people with fake skin where you can see it's not their real skin and there's something underneath it, and then when the people come are supposed to be taking him to the place for the psychiatric place to do tests and stuff, he realizes they got the weird skin, that they're these skin people, and then all of a sudden it's like he's not gonna go, and he freaks out and he tries to tell his mom that those people, and she's like, "See, this is why you really need to go." And so he goes into the bathroom, he comes out with a bag, and he goes into the bathroom where he had a different bag, and he goes out the window, and this guy goes after him and jumps up a level all crazy. And they think, oh, he's just getting away. Because these people are the crazy people with the fake skin who work for for Walter, the man in black. Okay, so he goes after them, and I forgot. Remember, he had a dream, and he drew this a picture of this house, and he had put it online to see if anyone knew, and someone said, "Yeah, that's here in New York. It's in Queens. It's my old neighborhood." Okay, so he ends up going to this house, and he finds it's all dusty, and he goes and he finds this thing, and he pushes in the number 1616. Cause I think that's what it was, or was it 1919? No, I think it was 1919. I forget the numbers. Okay, so it's 1919. He puts that in, and it opens up this portal. But as he tries to go into the portal, all these pieces of wood from the flooring and stuff kind of scoop him up, and they're trying to kill him or whatever. But then he manages to overpower it. Later on they say it was a house demon or something, and goes in through the portal, and he's out in the desert, and he recognizes it from his dreams, and he goes along for an hour, and he doesn't have water, and then later on Roland the gunslinger meets him and gives him water, and he tells him that he dreamt of him, and he said he knew he was a gunslinger and his name is Roland, and at first Roland doesn't want to have anything to do with him. And we've seen in Dream before that Roland's father was also a gunslinger, and that the man in black killed his father by telling him to stop breathing, because he's got all these powers, what he calls his magics, the man in black does, and whatever he tells people to do, they do. Except it doesn't work on everything. It didn't work on Roland, and it doesn't work on Jake. Okay, so he meets Jake, and first he's going to get rid of him, but then he ends up going along with it, and then they go to this town where everyone else is that's working on the same side as the gunslinger, where they're trying to stop the man in black, because he's trying to destroy the Dark Tower, which will bring basically hell and fire to every world that exists. It'll tear down this wall that protects them from this other world that has these demons, and that the man in black wants to, so he can rule over everything. So they go to this place, and then they find out he shows them one of his pictures of the place where the man in black is with the children, and using them to try to destroy the tower. And so they tell him this, and then he figures out where they figure out that the only way they can get to it is to go back to Earth. I forgot what they called it. They called it Earth something. I can't really remember it. It wasn't Earth Prime. That's another. Anyways, so they go back to Earth and they gotta find the headquarters, and they do all these battles to go back to the place where they actually where they have the children. Okay, so let's see if I can try to remember this one. So they end up going there, and then I can't remember. They end up like destroying everything. Oh, I know. Eventually, it quickly leads to a skirmish between Roland and the Man in Black, and this is how quickly it progresses. Like, there was some stuff that I couldn't remember to tell you, little details, but it seems like it jumps from there all the way to the end. So they finally get to this portal, and then Roland can't hit the Man in Black at all. This is their first confrontation, and then he figures out the right way to do it to shoot, and then he kills him, and they blow up all this machinery, and like I said, I'm missing details, but it just, if you watch the movie, it'll seem to progress that fast. And then there's this really quick confrontation, and then Roland easily dispatches the Man in Black. And then it's over, and then they blow up the building and all the structures, the machinery they were going to use to destroy the Dark Tower. And now everything's fine and wonderful. Yay, it's over. And instead of killing the kid like they did in the book where he dies, they're like, oh, you can stay and you can be like my son and we'll have a great time. And then I don't want to see the sequel. It's just probably stupid. And then they're making a TV series, which is probably just as stupid too. I wouldn't see the sequel. If they do a sequel, I'll watch it when it comes on video. If they do a series, maybe I'll watch it, maybe I won't, because it's probably going to be based on the same crap as the movie. And it wasn't very good. It was kind of enjoyable in certain ways, like the whole mix of sci-fi and fantasy, and the whole multiple worlds thing, but overall it was a terrible adaptation of a Stephen King work, a bad adaptation of the Dark Tower. It wasn't the beginning of the story. It was a hodgepodge of stuff from different books and different parts just thrown together to make a movie, to make money. And I bet you Stephen King hated the movie. I didn't completely hate it. It was alright. I hated it as an adaptation of the Dark Tower, but it has made me want to have to check out my library now. I'm hoping I still have The Gunslinger. I'm not sure if I do. I think I'm going to reread it because I loved it, and I want to start reading the rest of the series, at least part of the series. Hopefully I can find it at a library around here somewhere. And the series is good, at least the first book. The first book, and everyone I know who's read the books thinks they're great. The first book was incredible. This movie, no, it wasn't good. If you want to see it, I'd suggest wait till it comes out at video and watch it. You may enjoy it a little bit. And I'm thinking maybe I'll watch it again when it comes on video again on DVD, and rent it and watch it a few times. Maybe it'll grow on me. But this is one of the things, like, I don't think people who didn't read the books, I don't think they'll like it. And I also don't think that people who are big fans who read the book will like it. It may get a small audience, but I really didn't care for it that much. I mean, I don't think it completely sucked. It had some good value to it. It was kind of a neat story, but it wasn't the Dark Tower. It was a very poor representation of it. And I bet all the fans would agree. And hey man, if any of you have read more of the series or read the whole series, write in the comments section what you think about it. Like, let me know. Because like I said, I only read the first book. And it irritated me that Jake, which was a really small part of that one book, suddenly was now the main character. That was pretty lame. And this thing of Roland was kind of just like back in the shadow. No. I don't know about the rest of the books, but at least in The Gunslinger, Roland was the main character. He wasn't a supporting character. In this movie, he was a supporting character. Okay, so on a scale of 5 stars, I'm going to give it about 2.5 stars. Yeah, and, I'm doing reviews, and a lot of times I'm actually kind of glad that I didn't enjoy this that much, because so far all my reviews that I've made have been telling you how great these movies are, and I watched one that I didn't quite like. Like I said, I hopefully I still have my copy of The Gunslinger. If not, I'll look it up at the library, and I'm actually curious to read more of the story. It gives me more of a reason to read the books, because now I know that they're not going by the books in this. And if they would have done it where they did the first book and they were doing everything, then maybe instead of having to read all the books, and Stephen King, even though the first couple of books are small, it seems like every book further in the series gets to Stephen King's favorite 600 to Stephen King writes these 1,000-page books, and I think a couple of the books in the Dark Tower series are that big. I wish they would have done an accurate thing. I wish they would have started with The Gunslinger, done it really great, and then done all the other movies based on every book. But they went and they finally did it. People were waiting for a long time, and they threw something together, and they screwed up, and they made a pile of garbage. A somewhat still enjoyable pile of garbage. Okay, so this one, if you really, really, really are wanting to see this movie, I'd say go ahead and see it. If you weren't already disappointed from the previews, you might like it. Some of you are probably already disappointed. If you loved the books, or if you even read the first book and then loved that book or the books, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. And if you haven't read the books, you probably won't like it either. It still made quite a bit of money, so obviously somebody liked it. And I said, hey, like I said, I enjoyed it a little bit, but it wasn't like blown away. You know what movie, of all the movies I reviewed, that blew me away? If you really want to see it, well, I don't even know if Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets is still out. Don't see The Dark Tower. Go see Valerian. Valerian was cool. Aliens was cool. All the other ones that I've reviewed so far are cool. This one, not so cool. So, this is Christopher Thompson from Movie Time, and I'm gonna do this because this movie was not good. Wait. Let's do it like Bruce Lee. This is what I think about this movie. Wait, I gotta do it where you can see me. Okay, till next time, I'll see you.